Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What do you know about Denmark? I don't know, maybe I can end the whole conversation about Denmark in about 2 minutes. Well, I never thought Denmark, and it seems like I was wrong, I never thought Denmark is very, and without offending, trying to really purposely offend anybody, I would tell you if I want to offend you. This is not the case. Uh, it seems like Denmark, for me at least, it was an unimportant, country somewhere. What, about 6 million people? Soon is going to be seen as being Danish and all that, but it's their leaders and the interest choice, and so on. But I never thought that Denmark, with 6 million people, with a population in a country like this small, it's so important on the world stage. Well, it seems it is. And that actually drew my attention when the American National Security Agency was involved in spying on the European territory through Denmark. So that for me was like a big red. I said, what the hell? Since when Denmark is US's female dog? Well, maybe it was for a long time, but this is the first time when I found out. That's how the NSA started, spreading its. Let's listen to these guys, and they were listening to Angela Merkel and other politicians through Denmark. Now, the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines were blown up in the Denmark's and Sweden's economic area, or whatever they call it. Again, Denmark again. And this is the third example in this in this article I'm going to cover today. Reportedly, Denmark facilitated an international peace meeting on Ukraine about a week ago. So there were a lot of countries, a lot of officials, leaders of some countries, or at least the leaders of government, that met, I think in Copenhagen, I don't know, in Denmark somewhere. I'm going to read the article for you. And they discussed the peace plan for Ukraine at Ukraine's request. The Russians were not invited. So anyway, and now I have another article. So this article comes from the Ukrainians, and the other one comes from the Russians, saying, hey, maybe there will be some peace talks in July. So let's go first and see what this thing is, which is Denmark. Right here is the flag, tralala, lululu. This is the location of Denmark in Europe. Right there, it's Sweden. If I push on it, you're not going to see where it's at, because that's the way these guys are. Oh, my bad. So here is Denmark, the dark green. This is Poland right here. This is Germany. All right, this is Sweden. This is whatever this is. This is the Belgium and how do you call that? Netherlands and tralala. So this is it. I didn't know these are so important. I mean, after all, for me, my bad. What the hell? What is this? I couldn't pick up some islands, peninsula. I don't know, the water can go over every day. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So let's see. The population here, it's what? About 6 million people. Okay, and I'm not going to go over the frequency right here, and you're going to look over this thing here. 86 Danish, others, religion, tralala. We don't care about that. Let's go to, not this one, let's close this one. We got this one. Denmark holds secret peace meeting on Ukraine. This is from today, June 26, 2023. And very interesting, that Denmark. And you see this picture? Have you seen the video? If you watched one of my videos, you're going to see this gentleman right here grabbing this weasel's hand, and this guy fighting his hand out of his hand, like very violently. You can see this on one of my videos, but they always show it before or after. They never show us like the struggle. Just watch that video. This is Ramaphosa, I know this guy, from South African president. So, Denmark held a peace conference on Ukraine in strictly secrecy. German radio station Deutschlandfunk reported on Deutschlandfunk reported on June 26. Now, if these guys were able to hold this kind of strict peace conference with, we're going to see how many countries here, what else can do in secrecy? I wonder. A lot. Diplomats from China, India, Brazil, South Africa, this is BRICS country, except Russia, and several Western countries participated in the conference. Okay, these countries previously maintained a neutral or reserved position regarding the Russian war against Ukraine, in contrast to the West. The conference mediated by these nations may pave the way for official peace talks as early as July. Official peace talks. According to media reports, Ukraine initiated these potential negotiations. Well, because I read another article, the Americans say that they're disappointed with Ukraine's offensive, which is way behind schedule, which maybe this is why they initiated these talks. Or maybe just wanted to make sure that, hey, little by little, we're going to drag you into our camp since we can't do it straight. We're going to do it the other way, weasel way. So, according to media reports, Ukraine initiated these potential negotiations on June 16. Okay, this is blah, 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 tra-la-la, lu-lu-lu. Let's go to the Russians. Let's see what they say. Sputnik. Ukraine peace talks may start in July. Media. This is 5 hours ago, today on June 26, 2023. While media reports suggested that these as yet hypothetical peace talks may take place as early as next month, it is not immediately clear whether Russia would be invited. While the much anticipated Ukrainian quote-unquote counteroffensive that started earlier this month has so far failed to produce any tangible results, aside from hundreds of Kiev militants killed and a large number of Western military hardware scraped, remember this is Sputnik, it appears that Ukrainian leadership and its Western backers may be working towards some sort of a peace initiative. According to German broadcaster ARD, high-level international consultations aimed at, and I'm quoting, facilitating peace talks for Ukraine, and quote, were held in Copenhagen last week. Said meeting, and I'm quoting, was reportedly attended by Western diplomats as well as by the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Weasel Sullivan and by representatives of global South powerhouses such as China, India, Brazil, and South Africa. Good, very good. The meeting was supposedly held at Kiev's initiative and was meant to help the West garner the support of the aforementioned countries, all of them BRICS members, who so far remain neutral on the matter of the Ukrainian conflict. The broadcaster also claimed that official peace talks may start as early as next month, with the meeting in Copenhagen being touted as an important step on the way to peace negotiations. So, it was not immediately clear, however, if Russia would be invited to this as yet hypothetical peace talks. I don't think they will be at the beginning. But at the end, they have to be informed and they have to agree. And the Russians say veto, pass, F off. Especially considering the fact that the regime in Kiev imposed a legislative ban on negotiations with Moscow. Meanwhile, the head of the Ukrainian president's office thanked the Danish government. That's Yermak, one of the four little pigs, I'm guessing. The head of the Ukrainian president's office, that's Yermak. Danish government for organizing the meeting in Copenhagen in a statement shared on Kiev website, thus confirming that said meeting did indeed take place. That statement also contains mention that the implementation of the Ukrainian peace formula was discussed at the meeting, which is just a childish formula, which is just do the right thing, we need change, everybody love, peace, and general stuff. The details, which are the most important, were not discussed. I mean, some of them are over there clearly. Ukraine is this and Russia is that, and we are the best, and they are the okay. The last attempt to reach a peaceful resolution of the Ukrainian conflict took place in March-April 2022. Mere weeks after the launch of the Russian military operation. While it initially appeared that Moscow and Kiev might come to an accord, the talks ended up breaking down after the US and the UK pushed the Ukrainian leadership to continue hostilities, according to Russians. Okay, this is what they say. So it's good. It's good. Always the beginning is good. It doesn't mean that they will have. It is going to have a positive finality or finale. But it's always good to communicate. I think the BRICS countries will play a mediating role between Russia and the West. But the guys in the BRICS are not idiots. They already know that United States will switch towards them if Russia collapses. Russia will obviously disagree with all the points of Zelensky's whatever peace, blah blah, peace pants or something, because they are not including the Russians for demands that they used and they brought up. I said security, not guarantees, because the Russians don't believe in the security guarantees anymore. They said it, we're done. You fooled us with Minsk Agreement 1, Minsk Agreement 2, you fooled us with that, you fooled us with that, you fooled us with Istanbul. No, we're not going to do it again. So they said, we don't want any more guarantees from you. We will create our guarantees. It was an article that I covered in one of my videos, and it was, I think, Lavrov who said that we're going to create our own guarantees. We're done with the West. Don't believe anything they say anymore. Bye-bye. So we'll find out what's going on. So they will get the demilitarization of Ukraine, no NATO membership for Ukraine, obviously the recognition of those territories into Russia, or at least I'm pretty sure that's not going to go back to Ukraine whatsoever, the whatever that's already part of Russia, and denazification, whatever that is. That's going to be hard to identify. So the Russians the Russians will start the negotiations only after those four things are fulfilled. They will not; those are for them non-negotiable. That's for it. I mean, it's not like I swim halfway and then I get tired and go back instead of just going the other half. The same here. The Russians already are deep in this war. They were not going to stop halfway after the losses and where they're at. No, they're going to go and they will fulfill their objectives. I don't think the Russians will bend at all. I mean, probably with the Nazification, how they can, make it illegal for this and that, put some observers or something. How can you figure that out? Punish some people you would come up with saying those are Nazis or something. And then demilitarization. Again, they spoke about it in March 2022, a certain number of Ukraine military with some observers from a lot of countries. And what else? No NATO membership ever, and neutrality of Ukraine. The Russians also mentioned the fact that they want NATO to pull back from the fifth stage of expansion. That will not happen. No, that will not happen. So it's not going to roll back. Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, or whomever become no NATO members. It's going to be something like this. And we'll see who's going to... and Russia will continue with China, India, and all these guys to create a second club parallel with the Americans. Because this was a big wake-up call for them. All the institutions, the global institutions, are actually created and, how should I put it, controlled by those guys. When they get upset with you, they impose sanctions and you're out of the international relations. These guys. But if China wants to do the same thing, let's say to Romania, they can't. How? Why? Because they have no authority over these institutions. The SWIFT. Remember the SWIFT? The interbanking communication and payment system? Because there's nothing. Who was in control of that? Who controlled that? They kicked Russia like this overnight. Can China do the same thing? No. Let's say China. Can China do the same thing to Russia? SWIFT has no authority. So that tells you who's in control of those things. So a lot of institutions are in place and controlled by these guys. And these guys will create alternatives. Little by little, de-dollarization is still ongoing. Yellen, the secretary of whatever, cried here that we're losing, but the dollar is still strong. Well, I think it's already jumped off the cliff and there's no way of coming back. And that is the yuan, the Chinese yuan as an alternative, and many other currencies. They don't trust the US dollar. Why? Because they can sanction you every second and then you do whatever they want. That's a blackmail. I don't like you, I don't like what you're doing, bam, sanction you, and then you're done. I kick you out here, I kick you out there, and you're going to do what I tell you to do. I mean, I don't want to live in that kind of relationship with anybody. Would you? If yes, okay, it's your choice, but it's not an equal. It's definitely I'm the guy in charge and you are the subordinate. And these guys are wondering why, because we're the good, and you obviously are the not the good. And the allies are just, vassal states to show numbers. Hey, we're 40 countries here. Hey, we're always at 40, up to 40 countries. Just look around. Whenever you have something that US says, you're going to have about between 30 and 40 countries always. Yes, 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 yes. But they're all the same all the time. It's like a gang. All its members vote for the gang boss all the time. Sometimes you have some other people that vote according to their interest, but usually you will always have this monolithic gang. That tells you something. That's allies in crime, partners in crime. Anyway, we're doing good. Let's do the right thing. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.